What's going on, guys? My name is Colt Mosdef if you do not know me, and in this video I am going to show you guys how to make your first $10,000 trading the S&P 500. And this same strategy that I'm going to show you is actually the strategy that I use on an everyday basis, so you guys are going to be able to copy and paste this strategy and start seeing results literally immediately. Will it require some testing on your own time? Of course, but will that testing be worth it? Heck yes, it will. Before we start, I have a personal goal to help 10 people in 2024 make $10,000 a month using my same exact strategy. I will mentor you for life, and throughout the whole entire process, I will be there to answer any questions and show you realistically what you need to reach that $10,000 a month mark. If you are interested and you do want to be mentored by me one-on-one, send me a message on Instagram at Colt_Mosdef, or there is a link in the description where you guys can message me. Now, without further ado, let's get into my computer and let's make some money. Welcome to my computer. Let's get right into business. The first thing that I want to go over with you guys is what even is the S&P 500. When I started trading 9 years ago, I started off with Forex, Euro USD, GBP USD, Forex pairs like that, and they're nice, but they move extremely slow. I wanted something that was a little bit more volatile and would give me a bigger ROI for my money. That's when I stumbled upon indices like US 30, which is like the mothership of all indices. Then we have NAS 100 or the NASDAQ. And then we have the S&P 500, which is my favorite. It's not as volatile as NAS and US 30, but still you can catch really nice moves on it on an everyday basis. So the S&P 500 actually is, like I said, an index. So it's consistent the top 500 companies in America. Let me go over a couple of very important things with you guys before we actually dive into the charts and the strategy. The best time to trade the S&P 500 is at 9:30 a.m. EST. And what you guys can do is go to this little time zone button right here, and you want to have your time set to New York, UTC 4 or 5, depending on the time change that's going on. So once you have that set, you realistically want to be on like the minute 15 chart, the minute 30, and the hour 1. With this strategy, I am staying on the minute 15 time frame through most all of it. And the time that you want to be looking at, look at the bottom of my screen right here. This candle opens up at 9:15, closes at 9:30. So after this candle right here closes, it is going to be the market open, and that's when we're going to see the biggest moves occurring. So this is when you want to be trading after this candle closes, all throughout the whole New York session. Now, what are we going to do next? We're going to get some indicators and add them to your charts. First one that you want to add is the sessions indicator. Right here where it says sessions Asia, London, New York colored, add that one. Next indicator we're going to do is the Asia range and kill zones. Next one is going to be the Lux, Algo, fair value gap right here. Once you add these three indicators, they should all appear on your chart and look like this. The only one that you actually need to mess with is the sessions indicator. Once you click the settings, all you want to have marked up is the New York session right here, not the London or Asia. Why? Because we are not trading during the Asia or London session. And then with mine, the color, I have it set to this gray, and the opacity is at 10%. Why do I have the opacity at 10%? Because right here, this gray patch or this box, that is showing me where the New York session begins and where it ends. And I don't want it to be going over the candles where I can't read the candles and see what's going on. That's why I have the opacity very, very low. So these are the first three things that you need to do. Now let's go to the next step. Now when I am trading, I am in beautiful San Diego, California. That's where I live. It sucks because the market open for me is actually at 6:30 a.m. So I have to be awake and alert. I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. I go and hit the gym for 30 minutes, do some cardio, come home, shower, take my dog for a walk, and then I get in front of my computer at 6:15 a.m. Now I am starting to do my analysis at 6:15, 6:20. And if you guys want to trade live with me on a Zoom call, I do live trading sessions with my students. Click the link in the description. So as I get to my chart, this is usually what I am doing. I'm going first to the daily time frame, and I am looking to see what type of trend that we are in. Here's a hack. With the S&P 500, it is usually always in an uptrend. As you guys can see from historical data, it's constantly pushing up and up and up and up. Okay, so that's the nice thing is most of the time with the S&P 500, we're going to be buying or taking a long position. So when I get to the daily time frame, I'm looking at the previous candles, but usually I'm looking at the previous day candle, and I'm seeing, did it close bullish or bearish? Because most likely what happened on the previous day is going to happen on the next day. So our previous candle was bullish. Hypothetically, it could push up or it could go down. That's what I'm doing first. Then I'm going to the 4 hour, and I'm looking at this one candle right here, the 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. candle. Then I'm going to the hourly, and I'm looking at this candle right here, the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And all these times are on the bottom of my screen as I'm hovering over the candle. Then I go to the minute 30. Usually I don't go here too much, but I'm usually ending on the 15-minute time frame, and that's where I'm looking for my ideal setup. Now let's go to step 3. Now I talked about the sessions indicator, but we do have the Asia range and the fair value gap indicator. The Asia range helps us define where the Asia session was. What I like to see is I like to see very small moves during the Asia, and then I like to see the London session either break the low of it and continue to go down, or to break the high of the Asia range and continue to go up. This candle did wick into the low of the Asia range, but the body of the candle did not close below it. But we can see right here, look at the body of this candle and the following ones, how they closed above the high. If I mark this up, you can see price closed above the high and kept going up. So my bias at this point in time after seeing this would be to go long. Now right here, we have our 9 to 9:15 candle. We're going to go forward one more candle. Now we have the 9:15. Let me give you guys a great representation on how to use the fair value gap, and this is how we're going to get our entries and what ideal setup we need to see for the fair value gaps to make sense. So let me do a drawing. Usually what I want to see price do is push up and make a higher high. Then I want it to make a higher low. And within that higher low, I want to see a fair value gap be formed. And then once I see that fair value gap, that's where I'm going to buy once it hits it. And then I want price to go up and break our previous high and make a new higher high. That is what I am looking for. So right here, we can see price made this higher high, this higher low. Now it looks like it's making a higher high, but what we need to see is a fair value gap be formed. What is super nice about this indicator that I give you is it automatically puts the fair value gap on the chart for you, so you don't have to do anything. But if I were you guys, I would start studying fair value gaps, and I teach you guys all about this stuff and more in depth on my strategy in my mentorship. So if you guys want to be mentored, like I said, reach out to me on IG. So we're going to keep going forward. If I do not see a setup after this candle closes, that's fine. I need to see a fair value gap be formed. And we do have a couple of fair value gaps down here, but I want to see price make a higher high first to really get confirmation. Okay, so we can see we have a fair value gap right here that formed. We have our higher high. Looks like it could form a higher low in here. But the thing with these fair value gaps right here, here, if price broke the previous higher low, wouldn't that mean that price wants to go down instead of up? So at the end of the day, we don't want to take, we could potentially take a trade at this fair value gap, but I think this would be the best fair value gap to take a trade on. So what are we going to do? We're going to get our long position, put it right here where our fair value gap is. And usually on these fair value gaps, I'm taking a trade when it hits the top of the fair value gap right here or the bottom, or you can even get the fibs and measure from the top to the bottom. And once it hits the halfway point between the fair value gap, you can take a trade there. I just like taking it at the top or the bottom personally. So now I'm going to get my long position that I had on a second ago. Let's delete this. I'm going to go long right here. And then my stops, I'm usually going to have it below the previous higher low. And this is vice versa if we're in a downtrend. All this stuff that I'm telling you right now is for a buy setup. Now, sometimes we can see we have this previous high right here. I'm going to go for that high right there. And we can see we have a nice 2.16 risk to reward ratio, which we want to see. We want our take profit usually to be 2 times the size of our stop loss. So hypothetically, let's say that we're in this trade, and with the S&P 500 lately, it has been breaking all-time highs. So what if we don't see a previous high like here or wherever? What we can do, and guys, I'm going to give you so much game right now. You can get the fibs from this previous higher low to the new higher high, and then our take profit, we're just going to drag it right up to the negative 0.50. Here are my fib settings so you guys can copy them. Take a screenshot right now, and then also take a screenshot right now. After you do that, your fibs should look exactly like mine. Now I have that marked up. Ideally, that's where I could have my take profit, but since I can see that price made these previous highs over here, that's just where I'm going to aim for this trade. 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. Let's play it back. So we want price to come down, dig into here, hit that fair value gap, and then push off. Okay, there's price going. And when we see it hit this fair value gap, we want to see a very quick reaction away from it. We don't want it to stay there for long. We want it to hit it and then move away. So we can see our TP was hit within 1 hour of time. And guys, when I take a trade, I am not sitting here watching the trade. Why? Because I'm a very emotional person, like a lot of human beings are, which human beings are emotional. I may look at this and be like, do you know what? As the trade is floating in profit, I may close some of my trade. I may close too early before it even hits my TP. When it goes down and hits that fair value gap, I may close. I obviously don't do any of this stuff anymore, but I personally do not like, and I would recommend that you guys don't do this, is don't sit there and watch the trades. What I like about trading at 6:30 in the morning is I get to trade, and then I get to build out my morning to be as productive as possible. So when I do have my trade set up, I go to this alert tab, and you guys can create alerts. So I usually have an alert at my take profit point and then my stop loss. And it will tell you what your TP and stop loss are right here at these numbers right here. 51.52 for TP, 51.25 for my stop loss. It makes it so much easier. Then when your trade hits your take profit or stop loss, you get a notification on your phone or on your computer, and then you simply go and look and make sure the trade closed, whether you're trading Forex on MT4 or you're trading futures like I have moved to. So that's what I wanted to show you guys in this video. I hope that you guys got some type of value. And if you guys do want that one-on-one help, send me a message on Instagram and I'll talk to you guys soon. Also, if you guys don't know, my Instagram is on the back of my laptop. So right here, you guys could just go and follow me. Talk soon, guys. Peace out.